Hi there, this is Sen with Sen's Designs. I wanted to do a quick video today about linked stitches. I use linked stitches in my amigurumi projects when I need to use double or treble crochets and sometimes even half doubles to prevent these large holes that you see here. Those would cause your stuffing to be seen through your project, and so you can't use double and trebles whenever you need to be able to hide your stuffing. But doing linked, you actually wind up with these really nice neat stitches with no holes, and it's a lot easier to be able to hide your stuffing. So I wanted to do a quick tutorial since I've had a few people say they don't know how to do link stitches or they're confused about how to do them in my projects. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through how to do a double, just a standard double crochet linked. So I'm going to just start with a standard double crochet. So in a double crochet, you wind up with these 3 bars. So you have your top bar, your middle bar, and your bottom bar. What you want to use is this middle bar right here. So normally with a double crochet, you'd yarn over and go through and do your stitch. You're actually replacing that yarn over by going through this bar, pulling up a loop, and then you do your double crochet as normal. So what happens is you have this bar connecting the 2 stitches, so you don't wind up with a big gap. So I'm going to do it again. You go through this middle bar, so you have 1, 2, 3 bars. Go through this middle bar right here, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then do your double crochet as normal. So what you get is this line right here. These are your links that connect the stitches and keep them tight together and no hole. So if you keep going that way, you wind up with a whole row of links like you see right here and no hole. And so I'll also show you how to do a treble. So I'm going to do a normal treble crochet, which is yarn over twice. And so here's your treble crochet stitch. So you have multiple bars here, and what you want to focus on is this second bar and the second to last bar. So these are almost like horizontal bars, while these are verticals. So you want to use these horizontal bars. So instead of yarning over twice like you would normally do with a treble, you're going to go through this first bar, pull up a loop, and then you're going to go through this second bar, pull up a loop. So you wind up with 3 loops on your hook, and then you do your treble as normal. So now you have these 2 bars showing where they're linked together. And again, so you can tell they're more horizontal now that we've linked them, so they're a little easier to identify. So you put your hook through and pull up a loop from that first bar, and then go into your second bar and pull up a loop. So you have 3 loops on your hook, and do your treble crochet as normal. And so you wind up with significantly less holes. Meanwhile, between this double and treble, you have this massive hole, which would not work well for your stuffing because it would come right through. So that's how you do a standard linked crochet. Now I wanted to talk about what you do when you are moving between different heights of stitches. Normally in my patterns I'll use single crochet and then I'll jump up to half double or double, and from there I might jump up to a treble. I don't suggest going from a single to a treble. It just creates this massive height difference and it could cause your project to curl in a way that you don't want it to. So I suggest if you're going to change height differences, you go from a single to a half double or double first, and then you can move up to a treble if you need to. So I'm going to show how I would link those stitches. So a single crochet, you have these 2 bars. That's your normal structure of a single. If you're going to move up to a half double or a double from here, you want to use this second bar. That is going to be the bar that you pull up a loop through instead of yarning over. So you pull up a loop, and then you do your normal half double crochet or double crochet. I'll do a half double just to show what that would look like. So there's your single to your half double. Now half doubles are already kind of short, so you don't necessarily need to link your half double crochets. I just choose to do it anyways because it prevents any holes, and I would prefer to have no holes. But when you're doing a half double to a double, it's pretty simple because they're similar structure in where you have these 3 bars. And so just like we did with the double to double, you're going to use this middle bar to go from a half double to a double. So you're going to just pull up a loop through that middle bar and complete your double crochet as normal. And so now we've linked a single to a half double to a double crochet. Now to go from a double up to a triple, now you have multiple bars. So for a triple or a treble, you're going to need to pull up 2 loops. So you have your V on top, you have this bar, this bar, this bar. So don't use these, use this horizontal bar that is linking your double and your half double. Use this, and then you use your last vertical bar. So you'll pull up a loop through that horizontal bar that's linking those 2 stitches, and you'll pull up a loop through that last bar of your double crochet. That gets you your 3 loops on hook, and then you do your treble as normal. And that winds up linking your double and your treble together. Now, another thing that confused people was, how do I go down in size? So you go up in size, but now you need to come back down. Your treble, you actually have 2 horizontal bars here that you would normally use to link a treble together with another treble. When you're using it for a double, it really is up to personal preference which one you choose to use. I typically use this top bar. I feel like it looks better, but that could just be bias. So I just go ahead and use this top bar, pull up a loop through there, and continue my double crochet to link my treble and my double going down. Now again, I do have some larger holes here. They disappear as you keep going. They'll kind of start to form together because you're linking, but also I am using a larger hook size than I would normally, so that's kind of creating these larger gaps. If I went down a hook size, you wouldn't even see those even at this point. Now going from a double down to a half double, again, you only have this one horizontal bar because half doubles and doubles really are similar in structure. So going from a double to a half double, you're just going to pull up a loop and do a half double instead of a double. So they're not too much different, and you see how that gap between the double and the treble disappeared immediately as I did that. Now you have your double, your half double, now you need to go down to a single. I don't link my singles going down because you don't pull up a loop to make a single crochet. You just do a single crochet, and they're pretty short already. So typically if you're going half double down to single, you won't even notice a gap. A double to a single might be a little bit of a gap, which is why I choose always to go single, half double, double, and then half double, single. I typically use those half doubles as kind of a stepping stone to make sure that I don't have any gaps, since I'm not linking that last single crochet. And so if I were to finish out single crochets on the rest of the line, what you wind up with is this nice little bump right here, and you can see these bars are where the stitches are linked together, and there's hardly any gaps for stuffing to show. Unlike down here where I had done those just standard double crochets, you have these large holes. You don't have that up here, so your stuffing isn't going to show. And you go from your half double down to your single, there's really not much of a gap there. Again, there's a little bit of one, but that probably go away as soon as I drop a hook size. And so that's how you do linked stitches in crochet to avoid those holes that would cause your stuffing to show. Thank you.